Customer berated me daily for not sending her refrigerator manual fast enough. I fixed that. This goes back to the early thousands. I was working at Home Depot as a department manager, mostly in the appliance section. I was young, I was eager. I was one of those genuinely idealistic types who'd volunteer for basically anything if you asked with a smile. Good energy, good intentions, the whole package. It was a solid job, honestly. Taught me a ton, including some real eye-opening lessons about how cheap and entitled people can get when they think they've got leverage over you. But this particular story is about the moment it taught me something far more valuable than any of that. The customer is always right. No, really. Stick with me. So we were doing what's called a model shift on the floor. New Year's models had come in, which meant the current floor models got marked down to clear them out and make space. Now, if you've never worked retail, floor models don't come with their original packaging or manuals. Those got tossed weeks, sometimes months before, because there is no back of the store to store them in. That's literally the whole point of the markdown. The price is lower because it's a display unit. No box, no paperwork. Everybody who's ever bought a floor model understands this going in. That's just the deal. Anyway, I've got a Maytag refrigerator on the floor. Bottom freezer model, if I'm remembering right. Marked down to what I genuinely thought was a more than fair price. In walks an older woman, probably in her 60s, so we're talking born sometime around the Depression era. Solidly pre-boomer. She comes in, she wants the fridge. Great. We go through the whole transaction, get everything squared away, and then right at the end as we're wrapping up, she asks, can she get the manual for it? And I told her, hey, we don't have the original manual anymore, but here's what I'll do. I'll call Maytag directly and have them mail one out to her. I'd done this many times before. Maytag was always happy to send replacement manuals. It was a completely routine thing. She said, great, perfect, thank you very much. Everyone's smiling. Refrigerator goes home with her that same day, and before end of day, I'm already on the phone with Maytag. They said no problem. They'd get a manual in the mail to her address. Done. Clean. Easy. I didn't give it another thought. 2 days later, and I want to be really precise about this because the timeline here is genuinely insane. Barely 2 days later, not even a full 48 hours, I get a call forwarded from the customer service desk, and it's her. No hello, no greeting, no. Hi, this is so-and-so. I bought a fridge the other day. Just straight out of the gate. Where's my manual? I actually blinked. I had to take a second just to process the question because it had been 2 days. Not even. I said, ma'am, it's only been 2 days. They're mailing it from Iowa. It's probably going to take a week or two to get to you. She launched into a tirade. 30 seconds, maybe a full minute, felt longer, about how we were all liars and cheaters. How dare we promise her something and then not deliver, the whole righteous indignation symphony. I kept my voice level. I reassured her it was on its way, and we hung up. The next day, she called again. Where's my manual? Why isn't it here? Why are you trying to cheat me? I explained again, patiently, how the Postal Service works and approximately how long mail takes to travel from one state to another. The next day, she called again. I was starting to feel something other than patience at this point, but I kept it professional. I told her I had personally confirmed with Maytag that her manual was on its way, and these things simply take time. Day 4. Consecutive days she had called. 4 in a row. When customer service transferred that call to me, I, internally, absolutely lost it. Like a full meltdown behind the eyes, the kind where you can feel your pulse in your forehead. Externally, I was a picture of calm. I said very politely, ma'am, you are absolutely right, and I am going to make sure I make this right for you. And I meant it. I meant every word. Here's where we are at this point in the story. I had already called Maytag twice. Once the day she bought the refrigerator, and a second time just to confirm that the first request was actually in the system and being processed, so she was already getting 2 manuals sent to her address. 2. She didn't know that, and clearly 2 wasn't going to be enough. This woman needed her manual, and by everything that was holy, I was going to make sure she got it. I started calling Maytag twice a day. Every single day I worked, 2 calls. Each one a fresh, polite, new request to please send a manual to her address. I was not escalating, I was not angry, I was not making it anyone's problem. I was just a concerned department manager, following up on behalf of a customer who had been very, very clear about how important this was to her. And look, I want to talk about commitment for a second because I think this is important context. I worked Saturday and Sunday that particular week, and I had Monday and Tuesday off. Maytag's office is closed on weekends. So technically, I could have just waited until Wednesday when I was back on the schedule. That would have been the reasonable thing to do. The reasonable thing is not what happened. Instead, I drove to the store on my day off, my actual day off, specifically to use the store phone and make those calls, because I was not going to let a non-business day cost this woman a single manual she was owed. That's just the kind of dedicated employee I was. This went on for close to 2 weeks, twice a day, every business day, sometimes on my own time. And then eventually, one of the Maytag reps picked up the phone and said, very carefully, "Hey man, we've got about 10 or 15 requests in the system for this address. Are you sure?" And I said, "Yes, absolutely. The customer needs her manual. Please send another one, to their eternal, undying credit. And I mean this sincerely. God bless whoever was working that phone line at Maytag. May the light forever shine on their life and career." They did not question it again. They just kept processing the requests, every single one. And then, finally, the call I had been waiting for arrived. She called. But this time she didn't sound angry. She sounded confused, a little rattled actually. She told me she'd received 6 or 7 manuals at that point, and they were still coming. One showed up on one day, another the next day, and then 3 arrived on the same day after that. She had a stack of identical Maytag refrigerator manuals accumulating in her home, and she did not understand why. "Oh my goodness, ma'am," I told her. "Really? That many? I'm so sorry for the inconvenience." I had just wanted to make absolutely certain she got her manual. After all, she had been very, very clear about how important it was to her.